Welcome back to the Counting of the Omer. My name is Mike Sutcliffe. I'm one of the pastors here at Fringe Ministries. Today is day 34, known by name. Exodus 33:17 reads, "And Yahweh said to Moses, I will also do this thing of which you have spoken, for you have found favor in my sight, and I have known you by name." After the sin of the golden calf and Moses' bold intercession, God reaffirms his relationship, not just with Israel, but with Moses personally. Moses pleads, "Don't send us unless you go with us." And then, even more boldly, "Show me your glory." God doesn't scold him for asking too much. Instead, he draws near. "You have found favor in my sight, and I have known you by name." In Hebrew, the word name is Shem, and it speaks of far more than a label. It represents a person's character, reputation, and essence. To know someone's Shem is to know who they truly are, and to have a relationship rooted in that understanding. So when Yahweh says, "I have known you by name," he is affirming deep relational intimacy. He's saying, "Moses, I don't just know about you. I know your character. I know your heart. I've walked with you, shaped you, and drawn you near." This is what the wilderness journey has been producing. Not just obedience, but friendship. Not just outward reverence, but inner transformation. And that is what prepares us to receive God's presence more fully. Through this fire-tested relationship, Moses begins to reflect God's character, not just carry his commandments. We all long to be known, not superficially, but deeply. To have someone see past our performance, our flaws, and even our failures and say, "I know who you are, and I choose to be with you." That's what Yahweh says to Moses, and through Messiah Yeshua, he says it to us too. He doesn't just tolerate you, he knows your Shem, your inner makeup, your purpose, your pain, your promise, and he calls you by that name. You are not just a believer, you are his, not just redeemed, but known. He knows your battles, he knows your question, and he knows your calling even when you don't see it. And here's the beautiful truth. God's refining fire doesn't destroy your identity, it reveals it. The wilderness isn't meant to erase you, but to expose the glory he's been forming all along. Yeshua, the one who called his disciples by name, continues to call you, not as a servant, but as a friend. He speaks to the core of who you are and invites you into intimacy, into transformation, into a walk where you just don't know about God. You begin to know him and reflect him. So if you're weary, if you've stumbled, if you wondered if he sees you, he does. And he calls you by name. Let me ask you a question today. When you hear that God knows your name, do you think of a label or of someone who sees your heart and calls you close? What part of your character is God refining so that your Shem reflects his glory? Let's pray together. Yahweh, thank you for knowing us, not just by title or label, but by our true self. You see through the surface. You speak to our soul. Teach us to walk in that kind of intimacy with you. Refine our Shem until it reflects your name. Yeshua, thank you for calling us friend and for loving us enough to speak to who we really are. Well, friends, Thank you for joining me for today's counting of the Omer. I hope it was a blessing for you. And if it was, yep, that's right, share it with a friend today. I hope that you'll join me tomorrow for day 35.